Hello, so today we are going to channel about our soul mission, what it is, how we can identify it, and everything about the soul mission. Does it actually exist? Can it change? That sort of information. So if you're interested in that, you're in the right place. I will be channeling the Arcturians today with that. And so before we get started with that, just a few announcements. If you are waiting for my book, it is almost done. Instead of doing a workbook like I planned, I'm just going to put the exercises in the main book. And then if you don't know, the complimentary book is free, will be completely free on the website for you. And the first book's practically free anyways. It'll be on Kindle Unlimited and we'll have some free days. So, yeah. Any other announcements? I do plan on doing some courses as well, but I haven't started any of those yet. Do you have any announcements?
I just thought I'd say it at the end, but okay. I started a YouTube channel for myself, which I'm doing tarot readings on and probably going to do meditations, possibly other things, but I'm trying to wean myself into it. So if you're interested, it's called Illuminated Messages. That's it.
All right. Okay, so we'll get right started. If you don't know about my book, it is a book about how we're living in a matrix and everything is an illusion, and about it's really deep stuff. Like, it's channeled by the Arcturians, which we are channeling today, but it ended up being really profound, and I will admit that it's a lot for me to take in about how to live and to work with this illusionary world. So if you're into deep, really wanting to shift your life stuff, that's what it is. So anyways, now we're going to get started and we'll get right into mission work and about what that really means. I'll take off my glasses because I know it glares. I should have got the anti-glare, but I didn't. So, all right. So let me just take a minute to call them in, and we will get into it.
My bad.
Now we can start.
Can you begin by explaining what a soul mission is?
We would like to say that there is a soul mission. This depends on the individual and what the individual plans. But most of the time, the soul mission is the understanding. The mission is more of an intergalactic blueprint, meaning that there is a soul mission that defines you here on this planet, but there's also a soul mission in regards to you on multiple planes of existence. The soul mission is more of a multi-dimensional sense, in that you have a mission on Earth, but you also have a mission as a soul. A mission that overlaps multiple lifetimes. Now, everything happens at once, so time does not really exist. However, all of it is happening now, and so you have a mission that is defined throughout time, a mission that can span many lifetimes and intergalactic levels. Now, a mission does not necessarily mean that you need to do anything. It can be something of being and understanding and loving. So it may not be a receiving of something that you do. It may not be an actual worldly thing. It can be more of a spiritual lesson that you will receive. So it doesn't have to be action based. It can be more of a knowledge, seeing something, understanding something. Now, when we talk about expression, that may be more of an action, but it may also be just a receiving of something. Now, once you receive, you ultimately will express that. So there's no way around that, but it may not be physical. It may be just the words that you speak, the energy that you provide to others, your social interactions, and how you feel about yourself. And once you feel differently about yourself, you will express that to the world. It's more about energy more than what you do. So it can be a vibrational match, a vibrational lesson, a vibrational mission, rather than doing something, as many people call a mission. They think of it on a grand level, as in you must have this big plan, this big project. And it can be on that scale, but it can also go to the understanding, because we are all here ultimately to understand and to work with the understanding of the love energy and who and what we are. That would be our answer for that. We want to make sure that you understand. So if you have any questions for clarity, please ask.
I feel like you mostly answered the next question, because you were saying that some people have the actionable missions and some people have the just the doing being. But for the sake of asking it, do we all have a soul mission?
Yes.
Okay. Can our mission change?
No, to the extent of what we said, in that it is an intergalactic, interdimensional understanding. So if we take all of it and look at all of it, no. For you, as you progress, it may seem like it shifts. It may seem like it changes. But when you look outside of it, you can see the entire picture and see that it doesn't change. When you go to the soul level and the soul signature, the soul does not change. You are the one that is changing. So we say no, you would say yes. Because we do not look at time like you do. We see time existing all at once, all together. So we do not see a change, but you would, because you see it more linearly, more progressing forward.
So does that mean that we might change the action that we're taking, but the vibration of the action remains the same, or just that you might do something else, but the thing that you were going to do previously, you would still do, like in another life?
There is a lot to this. We would say that many people, when they change their mind, it's more of an accuracy shift. They understand themselves differently. They become more accurate. There was a distortion before, and they are shifting more to the vibrational knowledge of who and what they are. We speak more on the vibrational knowledge of who and what you are rather than what you are doing. Now, the doing is very important, but there may be a gift that you need to receive first for you to understand what to do. You must step into the understanding of what you need to do from a vibrational match. You must be a vibrational match to that information. We want you to understand that for you to receive the knowledge of what you need to do, you need to become the vibrational match for that to exist, for you to hold that information. Now, there is always that information, but it gets very lost, very distorted in other information. And so you must lose the programming, lose your mind, if you will, to become more of the heart-centered energy space for you to understand. One way to do this is meditation. Quiet your mind and just receive. Just ask. We know that we are answering more of your questions as we speak. We are jumping ahead, but this all goes together. For you to change your mind, it's not really changing your mind. You're actually losing your mind. You're losing parts of your mind and coming back to the soul for you to know what to actually do. Now, this may present in many different ways. There may be different ways for you to express your soul signature. Your mission is actually the knowledge of who and what you are. For you to actually fulfill your soul mission, it's like plugging in a puzzle piece into the world, into the big puzzle of your world, and even intergalactically, interdimensionally. You're fulfilling the entirety. You're actually playing your part. It is like a soul, a cell that understands what it needs to do in the body. It pulls into the self, that blueprint, that DNA understanding, the programming of what it needs to do in the body to fulfill the body and the play out of that system to do the workings so that it can hold the healthy vibration, the wholeness. So really what you're doing is you're integrating. You're integrating and putting the pieces back together to come back to wholeness. You do not lose yourself, but you see it as you are gaining, but you're really not. You're losing. You're getting rid of all the muck so that you can see clearly. And you will find peace in that. If you are not seeing peace and you are trying to force, you are not understanding. And you need to get rid of things. You just need to wash the mirror. And I've seen a mirror. They're just taking their hand and just like wiping it clean so that you can see yourself. And I'm just asking, I'm like, am I seeing myself clearer than I used to? And they said yes. So that's good. Good for that confirmation. Yeah. So just speaking here, we did a meditation earlier and it was very, very interesting. So I thought I was going to get more. I'll just open my eyes. I thought
I was gonna bring it up, but I thought, let's not go all into that.
Oh, well, I was just gonna explain. It's very interesting. I thought it was a meditation on finding your mission. It was very, very interesting because I thought, oh, I was going to get a very clear answer on what to do, right? What to do, right? I already have all these ideas about what to do, right? But I feel like I have so many passions, so many projects and things. So I was like, no, they'll tell me what to do. They, as in like my higher self, my guides. So it walks you through that. But what I was given, and I won't tell you all the specifics, we'll save time on that. But what I was given was more of the I am. That's what I received, was I am presence. And it's more about enjoying life. And it was very interesting. I saw food and ordering food, and I got that as like being a manifester, creator, just ordering food from the universe and enjoying the food. It was very symbolic. And then having a picnic and just enjoying, relaxing. And then the guides, they were saying that I already understand really what to do, but it's more about stepping into who I am and the energy and the vibration. So it's not what to do, but how to do it. So just to share that.
But you also got a mirror.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to go into all the specifics.
Well, yeah, that's why I was thinking about it. Was
yes,
you got
so
a mirror.
it had items. So it was very surprising. I did not think it would go like this at all. I thought I was going to see ETs. I thought I was going to actually see like the Galactic Federation and Pleiadians or something. No, none of that. But so on the table, I had they gave you gifts. So there was a mirror to see myself. There was a candlestick to illuminate the world, so to give to the world. And what was the other one? Oh, the fork. There's a fork to eat and just order from the universe. Just order and have fun with like manifesting and creating. And to work with that. So that was very interesting. So this is different perspective, because we think of the mission as I have to know what to do, but it's more of what I'm gathering is to become an energetic match, and then you will receive, first off, what to do and how to do it. But you need to step into that first. But I think a lot of times people will jump ahead, and I need to know what to do. You know, there's something wrong with me. I don't know what to do. But with the I am presence, what they were telling me is there's nothing wrong. Doesn't matter what you do, because what you do is not going to give you anything. It's not going to add to you. You already are everything. So it's really an expression, right? And I think what we're trying to get something. If I do my mission, I'm going to be better somehow, right? But we already are perfect. That's not what it's about. We think that we're doing something wrong. So we need to come back to wholeness. And I'm getting stillness, actually. We need to get out of our mind. Really, is what the Arcturians are saying. Get out of your mind. It's about losing your minds. So, yeah. Okay.
Which is why we're told to meditate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, sometimes I meditate and then I get frustrated. I'm like, why am I not getting anything? Why am I not getting my information of what to do, right? Mm-hmm. So we're so focused on doing, but that's the ego. I'm sure that's the ego. Okay, and here I am getting passionate. See, I like to teach. Maybe that's... See, I get very vibrationally excited because I'm the one when I channel, I get excited too, but it's very different. Here I am talking to you and I get excited. So that, I think, is stepping into a new, that's stepping into an energy that kind of tells me what I should do. Because if I feel the energy attached to talking and speaking, and I'm being like a knowledge holder is what's coming, like a wisdom keeper, and a teacher, I should do more of that. That's why I want to do courses. So, okay, we're going to bring back the Arcturians. Do you have anything else you want to say before we...
Not to the viewers.
Okay.
Just, I was thinking about something from earlier, but...
All right. Okay. What I immediately get is we are passionate with you.
So I think that you said this earlier, but I might not have caught it fully. But did you say that all we have to do to know our mission is to, you just said close your eyes, but like meditate?
We find that appropriate, but we also speak about understanding the self. So it does not have to be meditation. It can be other ways of incorporating this knowledge. But one way to do that is to become still and to meditate. You may also get involved in art or flowing, such as dance, exercise, nature. Giving yourself time to explore and expand and to have fun and to integrate the creative energies, to allow and open your heart. There are many ways to do this. You can work with crystal grids or oracle cards. You just want to expand your consciousness and to open up and to see yourself in that field of knowledge, to work with the knowledge that you are God, that you are source, and there's nothing that you need to get. Do you see? The ego is very concerned with getting. The ego sees itself divided and fragmented and weak and broken and distorted. It is very concerned with ego-driven things of becoming better. It sees itself as flawed. And it needs something. We are trying to give you the knowledge so that you can get rid of the ego and expand, because that is when you will do your mission. You do your mission from a self of soul. Moving into the soul. The soul has everything already. And it just is. It is the I am presence. And once you step into the I am presence, you will know and then you will achieve. But really what you're doing is you're seeing and then you're expressing. And then the world matches that to you. And it is like a mirror. If you see yourself clearly, you will see the world clearly. The world is something that doesn't really exist, and it exists inside of you. So when you see yourself clearly, you will see the world clearly. So first of all, you must become a vibrational match to knowing yourself clearly. So how do you do that? Speak clearly. Heal yourself with clarity. find peace within. You can also work with thoughts, but thoughts do have illusions. But you can work with your thought to gain clarity as well, to find the flaws, and instead of resisting, just speaking to yourself with more clarity. And when we mean clarity, we mean truth. Holding separation is the ego. Holding wholeness and oneness is the truth. Making things happen is the ego. Allowing is the truth. Seeing yourself as the creator being and to know. Okay. Yes, Heather is asking, how do you know? Just ask and you will receive. If you are at all in doubt, ask and you will receive. Ask for the information. Be willing to ask for the truth to be known. Work with that to start. How can I know? Open yourself up to the possibility of knowing, to understand the truth. If you have doubt, that is the ego. Be willing to let go of your doubt. That is the first step. Be at peace with that, and all is well. You've asked a question. Were we able to answer?
Yes. So sometimes we know that we have to do something actionable. Specifically. No. Well, okay. Well,
you will receive the knowledge of what to do, and it will feel good. You do not need to do anything. That is a choice. The concept of needing to do something feels off because then you have to do it for you to be. Somehow there is a lack if you don't do it. Do you see the difference? You are oneness regardless.
Yeah, so how did you word it? You said you... Instead of saying you need to do it, how did you word it? Because my alternative would say you are supposed to do something. How did you word it?
You do not need to do anything. You are regardless. It is a matter of choice.
Okay, but sometimes you get the message to do something.
No, you do not.
Okay, well then why does Heather get told that she needs to write her book?
There is no need, and she understands this as well. She has come to the understanding that her book does not define her. That is a choice, and she has understood. We are proud. There is no need. Now, when you ask your higher self what you should do, there will be an answer, yes, but there is no need. There is a suggestion. This is different. There is a suggestion of what will become a vibrational match and what will hold more ascension information for you. What will set you on the right path? What will give you ultimate freedom? These are answers that we would give for this. Not that you have to do anything. We allow everything. When you tell yourself that you need to do one thing over another, you are forcing one thing over another, and this leads to fragmentation. That would be our answer.
So would an alternative statement be, it is in a high alignment to do this thing?
That would be a better way to speak, yes. All thoughts, all words are distorted, but we like this best.
Okay, because I have not known how to alter that speech.
If you want to be clear, you can say this expression is in more God energy than what I could be doing. You want to feel the highest energy. If you can feel the highest energy, you will understand what to do.
Okay, so
Sorry, I'm just like, okay, I don't feel like I do that. I don't feel like I check enough with how I feel about things. That right there is more intellectual, right? More mental.
Yeah. Well, I just constantly am getting called out on me speaking, especially saying need, but I didn't know how to word it. But what if you're talking about something where you're not talking about it in that context? Where my fallback is then to say should, or then to say I want to, and I don't necessarily feel that I want to do it. So for example, I'm taking my course and I feel that like I have to do it because there is a deadline. How is a way that I could word that instead of saying I need to do that or I should do that? Because I wouldn't say it's in my high alignment.
They're willing to go with this. Are you wanting to get into that personally? Do you want to get into that?
This would be a personal thing about my wording?
Well, about your course.
Oh, we don't have to do that. I just thought it might be helpful to tell other people too about wording, because I don't know how to speak correctly.
I can tell, Adriana, that you feel pressure to do this and are willing to address that. Are you wanting?
Yes, but I don't know if we need to do that on the video.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It might be helpful.
Ask them if it's helpful to do it on the video or if we should do it after.
Okay, let me ask. They said you are funny. Like we're funny. That is we. Okay. You don't need to do anything. Like, you don't need to.
I know. That's why I don't know how to speak, though.
I think meaning, like, you don't need to do it on the core, on the YouTube video.
Oh. Well, yes.
Or you can do whatever you want. Giving us, like, a sense of freedom, right?
Yes. I don't know how to speak around the word need.
No, but you are beyond the words. I know you have this pressure of I don't even know if you want to do this course. And that's what they're going to go into. I know that they are. They're going to ask you, because before they were saying, do what feels in your highest, right?
I know.
So that is probably going to set you on your path. Maybe we don't need to talk about the course in general. Maybe they can just give us a general answer about how to know whether you should do things like that. Like, if you get involved in something and then it doesn't feel like it feels like, let's say you're doing school. Actually, this is a good example. Okay, you go to college and you're like, man, I want to be a teacher. Let's just say I want to be an elementary school teacher. But then you get into the school, you start taking the classes, and you really hate the classes, but you still want to be an elementary school teacher. Do you continue with the classes? They said that's a very good example. Okay, let's see what they have to say.
You're expected by jobs to finish the school.
Yes, but you want to be an elementary school teacher. That sounds good to you, feels good to you.
Because if you're doing something else, you can still just decide to jump in and do it without doing schooling. But when you're doing something like that, there's an expectation put on you.
Yes. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Like, because it's like, do you put yourself through the suffering for you think this end result, right? But we're in the moment, we're in the present, and then you're like, man, this is a bunch of work, I feel drained, I hate it.
Which is what I'm dealing with, but people are telling me it will come out with a good outcome.
Okay, this is a good thing to address too, because then I want to ask, my question then is, do we follow what other people say? Because I was told, like, I'm a healer. So should I do healing sessions, right? And when I was doing healing sessions, some of the time it felt good and some of the time it didn't. So that's why I stopped. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing to address here. What do you do when it feels mixed too? Right? Okay, good question. Okay. Okay, first let's start off with the college example. Okay. Yet again, they said you don't need to do anything. Okay, we got that. Okay, so a lot simpler than you think. You do not need to do anything. There is no path. There is only you. So when you hold that information within yourself, you must understand yourself. If you're not understanding yourself, that means that you're not holding the right vibration. It's not what you do. It is what you are presenting. It is the incorporation of you while you are holding that information, while you're holding that, whatever you are doing. If you are in school, are you able to achieve the understanding of who and what you are? Even in contrast, if you go to class and they tell you information that you do not agree with, are you able then to see what you do agree with? If you are, it has value. If you go to class and you just get frustrated and you feel distorted and off and bad, and it does not have any value to you, that is not of purpose. There is no flow of energy. You are stuck. Even when people have an idea of things getting better later down the road, you are looking forward for completion instead of seeing yourself in the moment. So even when you get there, as many people are thinking, I will get there, as in looking forward, trying to reach a destination, they are still going to be stuck because they did not see themselves before. There is a process here of looking forward, right? But you need to look. God energy does not look backwards or forwards. It looks inside. It looks inside to the eternal self, beyond the fragmentation. So when you witness yourself, you will witness back. It's interesting. You will see yourself multidimensionally. You will feel your higher self come in. You will know yourself in infinity, feeling more integrated, whole, and expanded. There is a formlessness, a completion. So when we speak of this, we would say this depends. If you are in a situation where you do not like it, but you can understand the self and how you would do it better, or what your thoughts are, your energy is, it's all about the energy, you will understand, and it has value. You are growing from it. It's all about expansion. When we speak of this course that you are in, it all depends if you are expanding yourself. If you feel fragmented and stuck, there is no value. And sometimes it depends on how you look and how you feel. So if you look at something differently And if you begin to feel differently, you can shift your vibration and make it something that has value. Before we get further, would you like to know anything more of that?
No, I'm just trying to figure out if I should circle back to what I was going to ask about if you have something that is in high alignment for you, if you do it, why is it that sometimes we still don't do that? Okay. We know that isn't high
Before
alignment.
we get into that, we should ask, there's no should. I choose.
You choose to ask this before because it makes more sense.
Yes. Before we jump to that, because it feels a bit jumping topics about what if somebody tells you, as in like a psychic.
Yes. Yeah, because you asked
someone psychic who has more spiritual knowledge, you believe, right?
Yes. Yes. Or tarot says.
Oh, cards aside. Cards aside. What if you believe that you're getting knowledge from somebody who has higher information in whatever way that comes, but then maybe you don't feel it, right? Like I have been told that I'm a healer, right? But then when I was doing healings, I felt very expanded, but then there was a lot of challenges too. So, I mean, I guess I was expanding, definitely, but even with the challenges, let's just see. Okay, they just kind of gave me this information just in for me, internal. So what I got was I don't need to do anything particular, anything specific. It's more about my energy and what I choose to do with that energy. So I guess that comes to free will, right? So there is this like a kind of free will about what you do. And your vibrational match. I'm actually I have a question about like blueprints though. Because we come in with blueprints.
Okay.
But you know what? I don't think, because that's more contracts, and I think we're getting away from contracts.
Yeah.
Because that's like a karma thing. Because then if you say, like my book, right? That's a karma thing. Because I had this whole, like, if I don't write my, I know that I came in for a blueprint of my novel. Just to clarify, you guys, not the other book I was referencing. But I came in, like, my soul, before it came into this lifetime, said, I'm going to write this book. And I think that's pretty much all I signed up for. But that's karma. That's like a karma contract, and we're getting away from that because the book doesn't matter. The book itself doesn't matter. It's the energy and the understanding. And so that I'm letting that go. I still choose to write my book at some point, but it's a choice. It's not because I signed up for it. If I don't write the book, I did not fail. Because I still achieved the energy. I don't need to write a book to prove myself. Right? Because I was like, for the longest time, I was like, I'm failing because I'm not writing this book. And that's like a karma thing. That's a karmic trap. You can get lost in karma because of that. Because then it's like you go back, you review your life, and then you say, oh, well, I did not write my book, or you didn't do whatever you signed up to do. And then you're like, I need to come back again to do that. But it's not about that. We're letting go of that and forgiving that and understanding that we don't need to do anything to complete ourselves. We don't need to do anything to prove ourselves. So I feel like I got off. What was I originally talking about?
Well, you were going to ask about blueprints, but I had a
Oh,
question
blueprints
first.
and contracts. So let me just see.
Okay, but I had a question first.
Okay.
Okay. Is it in our best interest to listen to our initial feelings on something, or to try and shift like negative feelings about something into positive and see if we can first? Because the course that I'm on, which I'm having mixed things about, because I feel like I'm expanded, but then I was having negative feelings about it. I originally was having a negative feeling about it, but then I was instructed to change my feeling about it into more of a positive one, which I did, which is why I decided to take it. And I am expanding, but I don't know if I should have listened to my initial feeling instead.
Oh, okay. I feel like we're jumping to, because still we did not answer about the getting information from other people.
Yeah, well, that is from someone else.
Yeah,
but
so
also,
let's answer that first, then we'll get to
Yes.
that. Then
Yeah, because you jumped, but then I was
don't
thinking about
think
that about
we need to
feeling.
worry about blueprints and contracts. Like,
Okay.
I think I answered that, in that we do have contracts, but I don't think it matters so much about what we do. Like, that's old Earth stuff. We're going to the new Earth. Fifth dimension doesn't have that. I just asked for confirmation. They said, yes, this is accurate. We are leaving that behind. So, I think a lot of times people would have said your mission is your contract, and that's not accurate either. We define ourselves. Yes. Okay. That's what I got. Okay. About listening to other people. Okay. So they said that I have an affinity for it, but I don't need to work with that. I don't need to do that unless I want to. Okay. They're speaking to me individually. I was like, it feels kind of good to do healing sessions again, but maybe in a different way. And they said, yes, you can do that. And we had a little discussion about how I want to do lots of things. And they just gave me a suggestion. They're clarifying it's a suggestion, right? To do other things for at least first. Because there's so much. And my thing is that I try to do too much at once. So it feels better. I guess when I check in, what feels better is to do the other things over that all together. Yeah. Feeling like I'm completing something. That's what it's about right now. Okay, so your question.
Yeah, but you still didn't answer about other people.
I thought I did.
I don't know. You said, I'm a vibrational match
but
I don't need to. That was your answer.
They said I had an affinity to it. Okay.
An affinity to other people?
You don't need...
Okay.
What they said to me was that I had an affinity for healing.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's what it is.
But what about when people tell you that you should do things in general?
Okay, and what I'm getting is that these people are not telling us what to do. They are telling us that we have an affinity for something. Because they're spiritual guides. And so what they are saying is that we would feel good if we were to do these things. But it doesn't mean we need to do them.
Okay, so if we use that word, affinity. Okay.
Yeah, they're using the word affinity.
If we, because I was like, what else would I call these things that I was calling mission? Okay, so if we know we have an affinity for something, why is it that sometimes we don't do that?
Oh. I used to get really down on myself. Why am I not writing?
Yes.
Why am I not healing?
Yes.
Okay. You are not understanding. We are saying that you have an affinity for something, not that you need to do it. If you ask this question, why am I not doing something? You need to ask yourself, how do I feel? There is a reason why you are not doing something. You're doing something because it feels good over something that doesn't feel good. You're choosing one thing over another. There is a choice, and there's a lack of knowledge here because we need more to work with, because this is an individual basis about why someone would choose one thing over another, because it can get very distorted, in which somebody feels like they need to do something out of fear over doing something out of pleasure. And so it can get very complicated. But for your instance, it would be that you feel at peace when you do one thing over another. Now, what else would you like to know?
Okay, I don't know what word to use to call this then. So if you have something come in, an inspiration to do something, and you don't do it, why would you not do that? And what happens with that when you don't do it? So, for example, Heather has the plot for her book. Yeah. If she doesn't write it, like, what happens with that idea? Does it transfer to someone else because it's supposed to exist? And if it's something that is existing within us that we continuously think about, why are we not creating it? And what happens? Does it affect us in some way when we don't create it?
Instantly, my mind says I probably am afraid. That's probably my reason. Like, afraid I'm not going to write it correctly the way that I envision it. These are like, they're like, those are distortions. I'm like, yeah. And they just go in and they said, how do you feel when you think of writing? Okay, so yeah, how do you feel? Oh, I'm getting it, I think. So a lot of times it's distortions.
Okay.
A lot of times it's our ego getting in the way because we have fears then, because of distortions, because of programming that are not correct about who and what we are, right? They said that's why they said lack of knowledge too. There's a lack of knowledge of who and what you are. You are not understanding yourself. You are not aligned. If you were to line up with yourself, to understand yourself in a clearer, more harmonious way, you would understand yourself and feel better and know what to do. If you feel inspired, you are on track. You are in alignment. However, people will then get off track. They will get off. So if you have an inspiration and then suddenly you are not inspired, it is because you are either one thing or another. So you may shift. You can shift timelines and shift into another vibration where you are a vibrational match to something else that is more inspiring and more with yourself, or you can become more conflicted because your mind gets in the way. That would be our answer. I just said we are holding more knowledge.
But then
we are getting clearer.
Does something that you get inspired to do and you don't do it, does it transfer to somebody else to do?
Oh, yeah. That's your next question.
Yeah.
I read a book called Big Magic. I think it's called Big Magic. And an author didn't write a book, and then she was friends with another author, and the author took her idea, but it wasn't plagiarism. It was like it transferred. She found out it transferred, and this friend of hers had no knowledge of this book that she just like gave up. So that's actually a really good example of this. So I think it's yes, but let's see what they have to say.
Or like a song. Like if you have a song in your head, but you never publish it.
Right. Okay, let's see. This all depends on the vibration. If you have a high vibration, there is a field of energy around us, a field of energy that connects everyone. We are all one quantum field of energy, and one thing is connected to another. So if you have a high vibration, that vibration will see itself. So if you reach out and speak with truth, there is a vibration held. So that vibration needs to go somewhere because it is truth. We want you to speak and express truth. So if you do not express that, we want someone to express that. And so it will filter out. I see kind of like a web. I guess I'll call it a web. Like little nodules, little dots, and everything. It's like a web with little dots. And then the energy pulsating out to all of it. That's what I see. So it pulsates out and is given to someone who will take it. Okay. But if it is not a high vibration, that may not be given to someone else because it doesn't matter. So if it's distorted, that can just go away. That makes sense. Because if you don't express it, that's actually kind of a good thing, right? Because it was distorted to begin with, right?
So what is the circumstances for when that happens? Like, is it when you fully give up on something and are like clear that you're never going to do it? Or is it where like maybe you stop thinking about it entirely so it's not in your field anymore?
Right, because like my ego comes in and it's like, oh, somebody's gonna snatch my novel.
Well, no, for example, I had a book idea and now I was trying to write the book idea, and this was years ago, and I had kind of like, I would have said I had given up on it, but it was still living in the back of my mind as a possibility, but I never felt that I could do it. So I was like, well, I'm never going to write this. So I just wondered if it was a possibility that someone else could have written it. For all I know, somebody has written it and I don't even know.
True. Okay. So this is funny because there's a novel that I have and I haven't read it, but I bought it and it sounded sort of similar to my book. I don't think it is. It's obviously not the same. Okay. So I think I'm getting this, but okay, let me let them speak out. But what I got, they said there will never be another you. I heard that. Okay. What I think what the thing is that there's no duplicates.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the exact same thing.
It's not the exact same.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me let them. we want you to understand that this is true. You can speak one thing and someone else will speak it in a different way. One way to look at this is your game of telephone. It goes through channels and becomes different over time. So you need to understand that these ideas, these energies, get translated differently from the conduit. The channeler of information will present it differently. You are not all the same. You have different aspects of the infinite creator. So you express things in a multi-dimensional way, a multi-layered way. So you will hold that information, but you will speak it differently, express it differently, work with it differently. It will look different for many people. So if someone takes your idea, it may present itself in a very altered way. There cannot be another you. So you can take your time because someone else may have given your message away, but it will look very different. That is all.
Okay. All right, so if we are living as self, as
you were
being,
always self.
Yes, well, okay. I'm just trying to not say if we are doing our mission. I'm like, how word it the best way? Being. Does that always translate to us receiving abundance in return?
No. This is a very complicated question. Many will say this: do your mission, be of service, and you will see results. You will see money come in. You will expand. One thing you will do is expand. You expand your consciousness and you will free yourself. But this freedom may occur in different ways. This energy can pulsate out in many different ways. This depends on you and how much you can hold. If you are a holder of abundance, you will see abundance. If you do not understand abundance, you may not see abundance. It depends if you lack the knowledge of abundance. Some people can fulfill their mission, but they do not see abundance because they hold too many programs and distortions in regards to that. You have to be a receiver of that energy. You can receive one type of energy, but not on the other hand of the other energy. So you can do what we would call a mission and expand and become more integrated and whole, but may not hold that piece of integration about abundance and prosperity. So for you to be able to hold abundance and prosperity, you must hold that as your answer as well. You must hold that integrated within yourself. And one way to do that is to simply understand that you are worth it. You are worthy. Some people will do their mission and they will understand, but they will not understand the value of what they do. This is the key. They may see themselves doing a version of themselves that is of service, is of value, but not of value for wealth. There is a difference. I'm thinking of actually a client I had once who is like that. They saw themselves as doing what they were passionate about, and I think that it was their mission work. However, they had very big distortions about money, thinking that they needed to work for nonprofit, and that's fine. Nothing about that. But like they had big distortions, and like they thought money was bad. Okay, so like that's the whole thing. Like if you think money is bad and evil, right, and so you should just serve, like the whole like Jesus idea, right? Just give live very simply. This is distortions about Jesus, by the way. Live very simply, live in a hut, right? And just go around and serve your community. You're just giving and giving everything. But there's nothing about giving either. We're just saying, people are like, never have anything for yourself. Always give it away. There's some very big distortions about that. Because you also, it should be a give and receive. Right? You need to see the value within yourself as well. The deserving of yourself as well. So, I think we answered that.
What if you see as what you're doing as worthy of an exchange, but the value that you put on it is not...
That's a good point.
It is not in alignment, I guess is how to word that. Where it should be. I think it should. Is what I was gonna say, but I'm like, alignment I think is the better way to put it.
See, this is where, okay, this is a good,
or like saying,
this is a good question.
Yeah, like oh, if I did a personal tarot reading, it's only worth like $5 because why would it be worth
that's a good
more
question. But it also can go the other way, I think.
Yeah, where
people who charge like $10,000 for
$2,000 for a 1 hour coaching session.
I think that's distorted too. So I don't know what they have to say about that, because I would like to see. I totally get the not seeing your value.
Yeah, how do you?
But what about the people who charge like? And that's just a thing.
How do you find the good spot?
What was it, like $3,000 you saw for like a half-hour tarot reading or something? It was like really
it was
insane.
$280 for
280.
For
okay,
30 minutes.
But I've seen stuff too where it was like 2 hours of this person's time, and it was like thousands of dollars. It was like. I was a lot of thousands. I remember specifics.
Granted, those people are trying to only get
I think it was like $8,000 for like 2 hours of this person's time.
Granted, these people want their free time, so they're trying to target only a few people so then they can have as much income as they're wanting without having to put in more time.
Yeah, which is great. But what kind of value are you giving for that?
Yeah,
for that
what value, but also how do you figure out the value? What is
that's a good question.
What is the fair exchange?
You could change somebody's life for $8,000. So maybe it is worth $8,000. But who determines that? This is a very good question. Okay, immediately I get ask your higher self. Okay. So you want to ask your higher self to see what the answer is. You determine your value based off yourself, not your mind, not the ego system, not the programming to tell you what you need to charge. It needs to be a value regarding your soul, yourself. Many people will charge too much and they will charge too little based off fear, based off a ego-driven mindset. They may be greedy, or they may not feel like they are of value. We want you to hold the information of yourself, coming back to your heart, coming back to integration. This will determine your value. And all you need to do is ask. You will receive. If you have a distortion come up of resistance, that is something to work with. That is something that you may need to heal. But you can understand yourself better when you come back to the self. Yeah, I'm just feeling very centered, very heart space. So they're like calling me back. Not that I lost my heart, but just very, very, very understanding that I am heart centered right now. If you think that you are charging too much and you got that answer of what to charge, it is because you are seeing yourself as undervalued. When you are told to charge less, then you have an ego-driven mind that is more of a wanting things. You feel like you need to hold on to things, may have attachments out of fear. That would be our answer.
So I realize we still didn't answer my one question, but I'm going to ask the next one because it goes with
this is going longer than I thought.
I know.
But I'm fine. I am totally not drained like last time.
Okay, good.
I don't know. The Arcturians, I don't know. It could be because I hadn't channeled Archangel Michael in a long time.
All right. So if some people are doing doing a lot of like energetic work, like grid keeping, how is it that they can get abundance coming in from doing that type of work? Or do they have to do other things?
Wait, what? Wait, your question is people who do a lot of grid work?
No, I said a lot of like energy work, like grid keeping.
Okay, who do energy work?
Like on, like for the planet, which is grid keeping.
Or and how do they get money?
Yes, for like, or if they're like I forget how like Akasha's word is stuff like doing healing galaxies out there, and you just sit around all day doing that. You know,
that's funny.
Your question is funny.
I can think of.
I'm just saying.
And this is mind, right? I can think of though an example of Jen McCarty doing that and getting money. Because you join people in and you do it together. See? It's the expression. You could teach others to do it themselves. I think you hold yourself back.
This wasn't a question for me. This was a question for other people.
Well, your whole mindset of it, though. Okay, but anyways. This is a good question. This is funny, though, because it's in my living with joy.
What if teaching doesn't resonate for you? What if you don't want to teach others? What if you don't want to work with other people? What if what you're being, what you feel in alignment to do is to sit around in your room and do this like galactic work, and you're just sitting around in meditation all day doing that?
Your higher self will take care of you. I don't know, I think of Mother Teresa for some reason. Maybe money is not of value to you then. Like it all works out. I don't know, but
I'm just asking, how does it work out? I'm just asking.
Okay, so there's a Living with Joy book by Sanaya Roman who channels Orin. And in that book, it's right in there, it talks about knowing what to do, like what is your mission. And in it actually says like, what if you like to meditate and that's what you like to do, right? What if that is like your energy, your calling that you feel called to do, or you feel like just reading all day? And they said that's what you should do. And if you do that, that will lead towards other things. It will lead you to what you're supposed to do if you do what you feel called to do now in the present. But let's see what the Arcturians have to say.
Yeah, or what if you do just read and that's all you do? But that doesn't
maybe
feel like
it will
it's service, whereas
expand.
this other stuff feels like it is actually doing a service.
But maybe it will expand you, expand your consciousness, so then you are more expanded and aware for the next thing. You know? Okay, let me see. It's just like, that's funny. They find us funny. Like, it's like cute, funny. Okay. This is a good question. What if you're being called to do something that is very in alignment to you, but does not seem possible as a job, or possible to gain an income, but yet your system makes it so you need to get money? First off, you must ask yourself if you have fear come up. If you have fear come up, this is the ego, and this is programming that needs to be deprogrammed. So that is one way to look at this. The other way to look at this is, how can you serve? If you are thinking that you need to sit and do this as a job, how can you serve others? How can you serve others with this passion of yours? But if you feel like you are serving others already, which this is the example you gave with grid work, what if you are asking yourself, how can I serve the world and earn money? This is a good question. You need to learn trust. If someone is called to do this, you need to learn trust and the value of themselves. For then the answer will be known. When you ask this question, you are maybe assuming that this person will stay wanting to do that for the rest of their lives, and in the same way. But as an individual, if you're called to meditate, or called to do grid work, or of service within yourself in a consciousness field, that would be our answer. You need to look at where are your distortions, where is the fear? Because there is fear coming up that somehow you will lack. It comes to security. You need to understand yourself. You are always taken care of. You are always provided for, and you will always be called to do something for the work needed. Go with the flow. Okay, actually, that was helpful for me, because just the whole going with the flow and trusting. Okay, I think they answered that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, okay, the question that we still didn't answer. Okay, so is it best to go listen to your initial feeling about something, or should you try to make it positive if it is negative, to see if you can before you give up on something?
Okay, that's a good question.
3 times I asked it.
You need to understand why you are doing something. Why are you doing something? If the answer is because I was told to do it, this is what I should do, this is what I need to do, it is very structured, you are very limited, and you are defining yourself as limitation. If you understand that you are doing something of value, but you want to feel different about it. Then the first thing you need to do is to understand how you feel, even if it's not good, and to ask yourself why you're feeling it. Maybe there is a distortion that is happening about what is going on. However, you may also understand that you are doing something and involved in something that is distorted. And then it's a matter of leaving and doing something else that is not distorted. It depends how you feel and why you feel that way. And I'm actually remembering when I was working at a counseling job, and I really wanted to stay there, and I really wanted to feel good about it because I knew that I was helping. I knew I was helping, but I didn't feel good because a lot of things happening in the center. But I liked the clients and I liked what I was doing. But when I tried to feel good about it, it didn't work. Like, I tried to change the way I thought about it, how I felt about it, my perception. I tried so many different things, but I just couldn't feel good because it was distorted. Not counseling, but the center was distorted. So I think that's a very good example. So then I needed to leave to do counseling in a different way, somewhere else that was not as distorted. So, did they answer your question? So I think sometimes it's like, how are you doing it?
Yes.
Too.
What if you want to do something, but in order to do it, you feel that you have to move through something distorted? So, like, I don't necessarily think this is true, but say if I did want to do taxes, as my own business, and that I felt, though, that in order to do that and have clients, like, you had to have so much experience under your belt, so you have to work for somewhere else, but that's going to be distorted. I'm only using that as an example because that's an example.
So what's coming to me, I think they're like giving me the answer of taxes are very distorted. We had a moment where I was laughing with them about it being very distorted.
That's why I'm like, that's not a very good example because I feel like the process itself is just distorted.
But what I'm getting is that sometimes it's a matter of taking something distorted and making it less distorted.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting that I would do.
Yes, so you can work in taxes or something. Somebody else could take something distorted and make it less distorted. So, like, a good example is people that are going into the school system, high vibrational people going into the school system or the health field, the hospital. That's a good example as well, or government. But they are using that system to make it less distorted. So that's one way. If you can find a different way of doing it, taking something distorted and using that to make it less distorted. And they said, how does that make you feel? Depends on how you feel about it. Is there a higher vibration? Can you feel that from the outcome of it? Did that answer your question? I kind of lost the question.
I just guess what I was asking is like, I think I just said, what if? But what I meant, I guess, was that would you stay in that distorted place or not? I guess.
I think it's
because of it being
depends.
Distorted. Yeah.
It depends. Okay, they said, what do you see of value? What do you see as you? How are you going to express yourself? There are so many ways to express yourself. It is dependent on you and your vibration. There needs to be a vibrational match. You need to find a vibrational match to you and your soul's signature. But that can be difficult to do if you are not soully aligned. And one way to do that is to express yourself through your soul. Get rid of your mind. Get rid of your mind and go into your heart and find peace. Okay. So I had a moment where I was like, okay, so do we just let go and just feel the peace, or do we ask? And they said ask and then find peace. So we can ask with this like, you better give me the answer. I'm looking for the like impatience. They're like, when you meditate, you could ask for the answer and then let go. I guess like a letting go, trusting. Yeah, they said that'll give you the answer. Ask and then let go. Just trust that it'll be given. Yeah, no fear. It's all about fear. Do you have fear or not?
Well, I think that's it. I don't see anything else.
All right, no. I was just like, this feels good. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, so I need to do more channeling, more expanding through that, more teaching spiritually. So if I feel good from doing this, I need to do more, right? So if you find out what feels good for you, do more of it. No, it's funny, they're still here. I was like having a moment where I was like, even like if things that may seem silly, like games, Netflix, chilling, chilling. Do more of that stuff too. Yeah, and if you feel a distortion, if you feel conflicted about that, like there's something wrong with relaxing, you need to see where the distortions are about that. I probably do too. They're still here. I didn't dismiss them. I have less distortions about that than you do.
Even though I show more, but then I beat myself up.
Which is funny because that's from them, not me. I'm not calling you out about that. I actually was like, I probably am a workaholic.
I do it and then I beat myself up about it.
I honestly think I'm a workaholic because I feel like I want to give all the time, do projects. But yeah, I have a different vibration about it because I have fun when I do it.
And then I have it as work and obligation.
So, but I'm like, I should. See, that's the distortion. I have the distortion of I should play the video games. I should do the fun things. That's the funniness.
So your obligation is having fun, and my obligation is doing work.
I'm like, I should have fun doing what other people define as fun. That's the distortion. That's so funny. I never really thought of it like that. Because I was like, I take life so seriously. But I find fun as projects. And my distortion, my conflict is I'm doing too much of this. I need to get results from this. That's all ego stuff.
And then I feel lazy. And that I need to do things. And because I'm not getting money back, I'm not doing enough. So then I just work harder and then feel resentment towards it because I want to play games.
We didn't do this as long. It's only an hour and a half. Pretty much. I really felt like we were doing this for 2 hours. It felt like forever. It really did. Not in a bad way, but I really felt like, wow, Adriana is doing this forever. And she's choosing to do this forever. Oh, this was funny. Because I was like, all that talk about time earlier.
No, I know, and that's why I don't feel like doing the work now, and that's why I said I probably wasn't going to, but then I feel like I should.
Okay, there's stuff to work on. Some acknowledgement here of the distortions. Bring it back to peace. And that's coming from them. They popped in, they're like, bring it back to peace. I guess I can say that we're done with them. I can let them go now. So they just said guys that are leaving there, like, we never work too hard. But we work all the time. And that's the best thing we can do. Because we are. That's the mastery. They want to leave that with, like, they're like leaving us that. That's
the other thing I get.
Once you find your mission, work does not feel like work. That's a good point.
That's why I get like you're supposed to work all the time. So then I'm a lazy person because I'm not.
Not necessarily. You're not necessarily supposed to work all the time. That's from their space, which is different. You gotta keep that in mind.
I know.
It's not that simple. It's not that simple working all the time. Because people have families and people have things. So, but once you find your passion and your mission, you want to do it. It's not an obligation. My higher self feels so good for me. Like, my higher self's like, yeah, happy. Anyway, I feel like I'm on track. I know, but I feel like I'm on track. I hope this is helpful. All right, we're going to end, and we'll see you again soon.